Next on Worcester News Tonight, union members from across Worcester come together, calling for more union jobs in America. Plus, a scary situation for a Shrewsbury family who came face to face with armed home invaders. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Anna Botari. Union members across the country, including here in Worcester, joined together Monday for rallies. It's part of a national day of action calling for more union jobs in America. More than 250 stood outside Worcester's City Hall tonight, holding signs of support. The rally is in response to the Supreme Court case known as Janus versus American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees. Monday, justices heard arguments in a challenge to an Illinois law allowing unions representing government employees to collect fees from workers who chose not to join. If the high courts side with the challenge, members of organized labor say it would significantly undermine public unions.
This is about our membership and having the right to collectively bargain, and the stronger the unions are, in our firm belief, the stronger America will be.
The country is built on the middle class. The country is strong because of the middle class, and that's the workers, the laborers, the firefighters and police, the people teaching our children, our tradesmen that really make our economy thrive, and our communities like the community here in Worcester thrive.
Monday's rallies in Massachusetts are part of a national mobilization with 300 similar actions happening across the nation. At Worcester's rally, people signed a declaration asking justices to remember an attack on democracy in the workplace is an attack on the democratic bedrock of the United States of America. Shrewsbury police responding to a report of an armed home invasion in the town. Police say two men entered a house, assaulted one victim with a knife, and threatened a second victim. The incident setting off a search for the suspects this evening. Eli Rosenberg reports.
It started with a knock at the door at this home in Shrewsbury.
Somebody asked for me by name.
Steve Levine saying it happened just after noon on Monday.
My girlfriend opened the door and she was pushed down, attacked. I heard her scream, ran in there.
I did nothing heroic or I would be in better shape.
Levine says he fought back, grabbing what he could.
One of them came after me with knives, so I grabbed a broomstick and didn't get too far with that, broke it over his head, I think.
Levine says he has no idea why he was targeted. The whole ordeal lasting just a few scary minutes.
He had me pinned down, he had her pinned down with a knife, and just kept repeating, do you want to die, do you want to die? And the answer is no, not really.
Sky Ranger over the house minutes after Levine called police. Neighbors here shocked, saying this kind of thing doesn't normally happen here.
In fact, a lot of times we may forget to even lock the house before leaving.
Levine says the two made off with his wallet, but nothing else.
Somebody's got a knife to your throat, they can take pretty much whatever they want. Nothing in there more valuable than that.
Eli Rosenberg, Worcester News Tonight.
City Manager Edward Augustus has created a set of recommendations for zoning recreational marijuana businesses. If supported by the City Council, the establishments would only be allowed in areas zoned for manufacturing and business uses. Our Cam Jandro has the story.
City Manager Ed Augustus is recommending recreational marijuana businesses be kept away from all of the city's residential zones. The manager also wants businesses at least 500 feet from public parks, schools, libraries, and certified daycares.
They balance that interest between, neighborhood impact, children being impacted, or clustering in neighborhoods, and still provide a bunch of different locations throughout the city where they can operate.
Facilities will be able to open their doors in July. Augustus says the city is in uncharted territory, and it's crucial the city lays the groundwork.
I think it's better to start out with the 500-foot buffer. You can always go less, but it's harder to go the other way. So we're better off, allowing sites but not having unintended consequences.
Green Zone Smoke Shop hopes to become one of the 15 spots allowed to sell recreational marijuana come July. Assistant Manager Zach Paquette says the manager's recommendations are best for the city.
I agree with that. It keeps it away from schools, children, stuff like that, stuff that really gives a bad name to it, you know what I'm saying? So it's just a smart idea for the state to do.
The recommendations would also keep marijuana shops at least 500 feet away from each other. But Green Zone salesman Carl Weiskopf says more shops in the city could be a good thing.
You know, beyond that, if everyone had their fair share to have a shot, you know, I see a lot of money being able to get put into the city.
Augustus says the city is prepared for when recreational marijuana shops open in Worcester this summer.
Making sure that they have the intended effect, that they become good contributing businesses and not have any negative impact on the city. So I think we're being as proactive as we can be given the rules that we have to work with.
Now, the city manager will be bringing his recommendations to tomorrow night's city council meeting and hopes they will then be forwarded to the planning board. If so, the planning board will host a public forum in hopes of getting response from the community on these proposed restrictions. Anna?
Thanks, Cam. Today is seeing the first court hearing for the lawsuits against Massachusetts State Police in the altered report scandal. 2 state troopers claim their now retired superiors pressured them to alter the arrest report of a Dudley District Court judge's daughter. They say they were forced to remove embarrassing statements made by Allie Bebo when she was arrested last year in Worcester. She was charged with operating under the influence. 2 more high-ranking state police officials retired on Friday. The head of the Mass State Police, as well as his second-in-command, retired in the fall. The Worcester Fire Department's Rapid Intervention Team got realistic training Monday. Crews entered a smoky building to rescue fellow firefighters when they're in trouble. Our Chandler Walsh has the details.
Worcester firefighters enter a smoky building. One of their guys has radioed for help. This is a training exercise for the Rapid Intervention Team. Their job is to rescue firefighters in distress.
A specialized crew of firefighters who have no other responsibilities on the fire ground except for to stand by in the event that a firefighter gets in trouble.
Monday's drill took place in a 3-decker on Pleasant Street. The Rapid Intervention Team sliced through a guardrail to simulate breaking through a door to pull out an injured firefighter.
It's a complex arrangement between the chiefs and the crews on the scene to make sure that we're multitasking, getting our firefighter on air and out as quick as possible, but also keeping the fire in check.
Theatrical smoke allowed the department to train in zero visibility in an unfamiliar building. The team used thermal imaging to locate the firefighter. Deputy Fire Chief John Sullivan says the department has used the tool for about 20 years.
We're able to see gradients of heat within a room. So if we have a firefighter down, it allows us to look through the smoke, so to speak.
Josue Rosa bought the 3-decker and plans on tearing it down to increase curb appeal for his salon next door. He gave it to the fire department for training a few months ago.
When I see him over here doing this training, it just makes me feel good that I'm doing something good for the community.
Sullivan says their training tower lets firefighters train in heat and fire. He says the 3-decker allows them to practice in a real building.
Gives us a lot of things that we cannot simulate in the training facility, and it's much more realistic.
Chandler Walsh, Worcester News Tonight.
United States Senator Elizabeth Warren pays a visit to central Massachusetts Sunday, hosting a town hall in Holden. Warren spoke to a crowd of roughly 1,200 people and answered questions from the audience at Wachusett Regional High School. The meeting was her 20th in the last 20 months across the state. The Democrat spoke her mind on a variety of topics, ranging from gun violence to the country's tax system.
We got to be in the fight for a better budget. We got to be in a fight for a tax system where everybody pays a fair share, right? God. $1.5 trillion to giant corporations and billionaires. And who's going to pay for it? Working class America is going to pay for it. That is so fundamentally wrong.
An audience member asked Warren if she would run for president in 2020. Warren replied by saying, "I am running for the United States Senate in 2018. Worcester Polytechnic Institute hosting a soldier science research symposium Monday. Scientists and engineers from both WPI and the U.S. Army Natick Soldier Research, Development and Engineering Center showcase their work together to benefit the military. One project they're working on enables faster detection of chemical vapors in mixtures and other environments. The sensor is about the size of a fingernail, but could save a soldier's life.
What we're trying to do is develop what's called a multiplex sensor that ends up working the way your nose works. Your nose doesn't detect one smell at a time, right? You can detect all kinds.
So just like in your body, your nose provides information to your brain for processing, we have to build the mathematical brain for this sensor. And it allows us, to both use our expertise to make the system as good as possible.
Very interesting. You can see how quickly the technology has evolved and the research that's being done has evolved within the community here.
Another project showcased Monday, designed by WPI students, is an evaporative cooling vest for soldiers, which is now being used by Army Air. A Worcester man is among 7 to be arrested Saturday for reckless driving on I-93. 23-year-old Josue Hidalgo was among the around 30 people who were allegedly driving ATVs, dirt bikes, and motorcycles and interfering traffic. According to state police, Hidalgo was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting arrest, and endangering a person or property.